Glass Onion, you know, splashing and being this big hit at the box office this weekend. And specifically want to talk about, because we know the numbers now, right? I will kick back over to the article here so you can check it out. So we know over the holiday weekend it brought in $13.3 million, and that is into the domestic box office alone. Obviously, this thing wasn't released, you know, worldwide like a lot of these movies on this list would have been or are. And it was a limited theater run in a small, under 1,000 theaters. Normally, as you can see again here, we typically get, you know, 4,000 plus theaters for a wide release. So, couple questions that I want to pose to myself and to Shane, and I'll start with giving them to Shane first, and then giving you my thoughts after Shane. So, my question to you is this, Shane: in your opinion, this movie, $13.3 million holiday weekend with a 700 theater release. If this would have got a full release with 4,000 theaters like Wakanda Forever and all these other movies, what do you think it would have done at the box office?
You know, it have to at least double. I mean, who even knows? Because, you know, Strange Worlds, is that what I've already got?
Yes.
They had 4,000 theater release, and they pulled in a couple million more.
Yeah, 18, so 5 million more.
Yeah, so I mean,
I think
so you put the same
more
amount. No kidding. I mean, it would have had to. So are they kicking themselves for not doing it?
Okay, so that's another question I'd like to pose. And so what I would like to say is, for sure, there's no doubt in my mind, you put this in 4,000. I mean, just do the math. It's just like, you know, I know this doesn't always correlate, right? But I remember when I would watch, you know, basketball. If Melo had 20 at half, what's he going to have, you know, when the game's over?
Whatever he averages, it usually balances.
Sure,
out.
but as 30, a fan of Melo,
probably is 30 points, 32 points.
We're like, well, if he can score 20 in the first half,
he's coming in at 32 points.
He's going in his average. He's going to score around 20 in the second half, man. He's going to have a 40-point game tonight, right? And
how often did that happen?
And not as often, like I said, not always. And the same thing, I see it all the time with rebounds. I see, like, you know, Blake Griffin got 12 rebounds in the first half. I'm like, yeah, he's finna finish the game with 24 boards.
15.
Right.
Finishes with 15.
Right.
Whatever his average
13,
is. Yeah,
right, yeah.
It always averages out.
Right. But
that's why I'm guessing double. I mean, I know that you want to say it's got to be over 4 times the
I said on the show. I said on the show that it was a $40 million plus opening weekend if this thing released in.
What did Black Panther opening? That was a 50.
Black Panther, that was like 150, 175, I think.
For the whole weekend?
Opening weekend. Okay. Yeah. But that's way
I thought
different.
it was under 100, but
no, it was
wrong.
it was like 175 opening week. Now Black Adam was like 60, 65.
That did even worse. But maybe I can.
But I'm telling you, in my opinion, this is a $45 million opening weekend. If they had done this for
then your math would be right on there, because, you know, if it was at 1,000 theaters and
so the question is that you just posed is, now are they kicking themselves in the head? You know, going, what are we doing? Why do we do this? And my answer to you, or my thought on that, is no. What this was is what we always thought it was, which was a barometer, right? This was a test, get a feel for what we can do with this thing, and it went swimmingly. It went better than they probably imagined. And so now moving forward, they will make more decisions based off of this, right? I think so. There's another Knives Out movie coming out that they spent $200 million to just get the rights to, right? And so now they got to be thinking, well, shoot, if we let this have a full run of 90 days, like everything else is, maybe we could squeeze the budget back out of this damn movie, right? And that's being said with the fact that, too, couple that with the idea that the marketing for Glass Onion has not been, it's marketed itself. We often talk about how Netflix and those things don't market enough to us. And that's true in most cases. But because the first movie was as good as it was and people loved it as much as they did, this movie marketed itself.
It also was big news.
You didn't see this on Monday Night Football.
Sure, but it was also in the news because Netflix releasing a movie is news.
True.
So, like you said, it kind of does itself. I kind of have to disagree with you, though. I think they are kicking themselves because there's no guarantee in movies. You're right. This could be, the next one is going to do this much money, and it doesn't because that's movies. So anytime you leave the table with money left on the table, I think they're absolutely kicking themselves because there's no guarantee the next poker hand is going to play out the same way. It just doesn't work like that in the movie. It's like, if it did, you just have, I can only pull from my movie history knowledge, but I'm sure this has happened many times. But I'll never forget when Coca-Cola bought Columbia in the early 80s. And then after like 2 or 3 years, they dropped it because they were just like, yeah, this isn't our business. We don't know if we can't, there's no guarantee to make any money.
Right.
So I think, them leaving that, especially the amount of money that they left. If you're right, because if they put it as a normal release in 4,000 theaters.
Right. And this is so far. Keep in mind, guys, and Shane, that this is the first weekend. This still's got 3 more weekends.
And if it would have stayed in 4,000 theaters.
And the way word of mouth works with films like this, we could see this have a drop off of only like 10% or some crazy shit.
Before you had started hearing the reviews, how likely were you to see this movie in the theaters?
We talked about it on the show. I said I will wait.
And now
I'm going to see it today. Yeah. Right. And there's how good the word of mouth is on it too. So like I said, we could see this. It pulled in 13 right now. If it was able to pull in 10 more, over the next 3 weeks, it's still approaching a $50 million ranking.
And that's 25% of what you spent.
Right? No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Right. And so what my prediction with this is moving forward, we see exactly what we just talked about. And our main topic, number 3 or 4, with Amazon spending all of this money in theatrical push.
And I think, too, like with Amazon, when you talk about how this is a barometer, I think if this was Amazon that did this, I would agree with you. Because what do they have to lose?
You're right, yeah.
But Netflix,
they definitely wouldn't care, right?
Come on. How much money are they really making?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's definitely got to be someone over there punching themselves in the freaking head. That's for sure. I'll tell you who it's not. Job. It's not Rian Johnson.
No, it's not. Whoever's decision that was, or some person who just lost their job this weekend because Knives Out did so well in the theaters.
Right, no doubt, yeah.
And think about the weekend, too. You're not even just talking about lost money for Netflix because you're thinking over here, it's good for movie business. Think about how many theaters were like, well, if we could have shown Knives Out.
Yeah, it kind of muddles your relationship with theaters a little bit, but it kind of gives them a leg up in conversations later going, well, dude, if we would have had Knives Out, we could have made a bunch of more money and we could have this and that, and for sure those.
So I think it was a loss for everybody. It's a shame that Knives Out couldn't have had a bigger wide release.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm glad to see it be successful. I'm glad that it seems, critics are loving it, audience is loving it. It's over a 90% both ways. Like I said, Knives Out 1 is like a 97, 98% with like 500 reviews, critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's pretty impressive numbers.
That's very impressive.
That being said, I enjoyed my time with Knives Out, but I wouldn't.
It's okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I will watch another one. But
I would have given it a thumbs up because those are my only 2 choices.
But it's not like it wasn't one of the best movies I've seen.
But honestly, this setup did seem more interesting, and I did like the fact that they're besides the main character, it's all self-contained. Yep. It's just he's the same character.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, just I forget his name, but Detective
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, but it's
whatever. Something
knows?
funny.
Doesn't
Yeah. But yeah, and then you did bring in a lot of interesting people. People love Edward Norton. And you bring him in, and then the guy.
A lot of great comedians in this cast too. So this should be funnier than the first one.
Yeah, for sure. And the first one was the same way. You had. Jamie Lee Curtis and all these,
I forgot she was even in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, for sure. But,
it's been probably a couple years since I've seen it. Maybe I need to take a look.
She's in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and she's freaking
Is she really? Cringy. I didn't hear about that.
Oh, she's cringy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
In a good way, like supposed to be?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, yes. Cool. Like, that's the character she is, and she does it so good that, like, you want to believe like she just maybe is like that. It's so good. It reminds me a lot of Jonah Hill and This Is the End. You're just like, he's not acting. He's like that. But yeah, guys. But what do you guys think about all this? Are you one of the few million people that went out to see Glass Onion over the holiday weekend? Do you not want to see it? Could you care less? Did you not like the first one? Definitely let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below.